But just to be clear, that is exactly what a no-fly zone means, is that you're saying that you will shoot down planes in the area. And to go into an active war zone and say you're going to start shooting down planes in the area would be an act of war against Russia. I mean, what you're saying is that you support war against Russia. Now, let me just remind people, by the way, that, and I think this is something that's important to remind people, because oftentimes with these military conflicts, and this was true, I remember I used to argue this with Essie Cupp when I was a contributor on her show, that she used to say, this would be in like 2017, and they'd be talking about regime change in Syria. And whatever it would be, McMaster's would come out and say he supports regime change in Syria. And then it was like a week after Trump said he didn't support regime change in Syria. And I was like, well, what the hell is someone who works for Trump doing saying he supports it when the president just said he doesn't support it, and all this stuff? There's some fun clips on that show. But she would say, well, we support regime change in Syria because Assad started killing all of his own people in 2013 or whatever it is. And I'd go, okay, but if that's why we support intervention in Syria, then how come we were intervening in 2012? And how come we were talking about intervening in Syria in 2007? Like, there's news reports about it here. I can show them to you. I'd pull them up, but this is like in the green room, but not in the show. I'd pull them up on my phone. Look, why was there an article about this in 2007? If the reason we're supporting it is because of what he started doing in 2013. And then why is General Wesley Clark talking about how he saw plans of doing this in the Pentagon in 2003? You know what I mean? Like, this doesn't make sense. Was he like fucking 10 years ahead of his time? Could he see the future? Why were we doing it then? And so also with this situation, you see kind of the same thing. It's like, all right, well, so we're talking about a no-fly zone in Ukraine now to shoot down Russian planes. But I'm just wondering, like, if it's because Russia invaded Ukraine, why is it that Hillary Clinton was running on a no-fly zone in Syria in 2016? And by the way, so was Marco Rubio and a couple of the other Republicans. They were all saying we should have a no-fly zone in Syria, where Russian planes were flying, invited by the government of Syria. All these things kind of relate,